Abigail is one of those films where as soon as I saw the trailer, I thought I absolutely need to see this. And there are a couple of reasons for this. The main reason is Alisha Weir. I think she's fantastic, and just in the trailer, she just looked incredible. The performance looked amazing, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. The other reason I want to see it is that I love the costume that Weir is wearing in the trailer, and that sounds like such a ridiculous reason to want to watch a film, but my eyes were just drawn to it immediately, and it just looked visually, it looked like a really, really gorgeous film. So there were a couple of reasons why I was drawn to this, and I'm pleased to say it was pretty decent. This was released in 2024. It's directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, and it's directed by Stephen Shields and Guy Busick. We have, of course, Alisha Weir as Abigail. We also have Melissa Barrera, Dan Stevens, William Catlett, Kathryn Newton, Kevin Durand, Angus Cloud, Giancarlo Esposito, Matthew Goode, and Mahmoud Aldahchan. And I will tell you what Abigail is, and that may sound like a strange thing to say, but I knew exactly what Abigail was going into this. Well, actually, to be fair, I was concerned it would be a spoiler because the brief description for this film on IMDb and Letterboxd, neither of them actually mention what she is, but it is tagged on IMDb accordingly. So I guess this is just a forewarning. If you don't know what Abigail is and you don't know what this is about, then this will spoil that part. But it's not really a spoiler because it is what the film is about. And I guess I can say now with a spoiler warning that Abigail is not just an ordinary girl. She is actually a vampire. And the idea of a ballerina vampire is just great fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm not a big fan of vampire films in general, but I do think Alisha Weir is fantastic. And I have to say her performance was incredible. One of the strongest performances that I've ever seen in any film ever. And that's not just for her age either. It's absolutely phenomenal. And the film is about Abigail, who is kidnapped for ransom. They don't know, of course, that she is a vampire. And, well, she's going to get revenge on the people who have kidnapped her. I will say the narrative felt like it needed something else. It's quite a long film. It's about 1 hour and 50 minutes. And there were definitely times where I felt like it maybe needed just another layer or something else in there. I'm not looking for anything specific. I just think that there were times when it maybe slowed down a bit and we could have done with just a little something else, or the film could have been a little bit shorter, whichever would work, I think, could have helped with just tightening it up a little bit. But we do find out pretty quickly what Abigail is. We learn quite quickly, and the transformation from seemingly sweet exterior of this little girl who likes to do ballet to this ferocious vampire, and just her performance just absolutely blew me away. So even the times when the narrative was a little slower, there was always something compelling on screen because she's pretty much always on screen, and just the performance is one of the best things I've ever seen. And the costume does look absolutely amazing. Visually, it's not as appealing as I wanted it to be. I don't like a lot of the lighting. I don't hate it, but the lighting wasn't as pleasing to look at as I perhaps wanted it to be, but it wasn't enough to affect my overall enjoyment. Needless to say, we have a lot of bloodshed, it's quite gory, and that part of it visually, yeah, that was quite appealing. But for me, yes, we have a good narrative. Yes, it's generally well executed with a few pacing issues, but the absolute main reason why this works so well is because of the character of Abigail and because of the performance of Alisha Weir. I thought she was just absolutely phenomenal, and honestly, it basically met my expectations. It wasn't quite perfect, but I thoroughly enjoyed the experience pretty much from start to finish. And I'm saying this as somebody who isn't really a vampire film fan. I'm trying. I've watched a couple recently, and yeah, I haven't minded them very much. I think the thing I really like about vampire films is the bloodshed. And, well, the scariest film I've ever seen, based on my response at the time, was The Little Vampire. I've mentioned this multiple times, so apologies for repeating it. But when I watched that when I was, I think, about 8, maybe 7 or 8, I was terrified. I couldn't sleep. I thought of my cat meowing at a moth in the bathroom. I thought she was meowing at a vampire bat. Absolutely scarred me for a very long time. So honestly, ever since then, I haven't really watched vampire films. I've never really given them a chance. But I think there's a lot of potential, and if anybody can recommend any, please feel free to do so. I've seen a small handful, but I'd love to see more. And based on this film, I could really enjoy the character of the vampire. So always keen for recommendations. And I am very happy to recommend Abigail. Pretty much met my expectations. Alisha Weir was absolutely fabulous in this. It's gory. It's not scary. I wouldn't say it's a particularly scary film. There are some creepy moments. There's a little bit of suspense. It's not a terrifying experience, but I still enjoyed it. I still felt on edge. I felt like there was always something about to happen, and I think mostly it's because Abigail is not a character to be trusted if you're on the other side. Her next move is not always clear, and I really liked that aspect of it. So yeah, I'm happy. Abigail was a film that I was really looking forward to, and I'm really pleased to say that, generally speaking, it met my expectations. Weir's performance completely exceeded my expectations, and if it sounds like a film that would appeal to you, I'm very, very happy to recommend it.